Okay, so this thing comes up occasionally. And I know why it comes up. I know why. Because there's an element of Ghostbusters 1 that you kind of have to put the pieces together. They don't really graphically depict it or directly talk about it, but it's there. It's implied in the character's dialogue. All right, what I'm talking about is what exactly goes on between the gatekeeper and the keymaster in order to open that gate. And it can elude you because it's not in your face. I didn't catch it until I read the novelization when I'm like 15 years old. And there's a line in there about his key was ready. And I was like, oh, light bulb over the head. Now I know what they're talking about there. Okay, so had they left in one of the deleted scenes from the film, it would have been a bit more obvious because there was dialogue where after they pull them out of the husks of the terror dogs, Lewis looks at Dana and he goes, did you and I? And she looks at him and she goes, no, Lewis. And tell you how many times I've watched the DVD, my wife has actually quoted that line from a deleted scene. I'm like, you poor kid. You know the dialogue from the deleted scenes. So, had that been in there, I think more people would be aware without having to figure it out. But I've known people that go a long, long time without realizing, oh, wow, I never knew that they... And what almost always happens right on the heels of that realization is someone will say, does that mean Lewis is Oscar's father? No. Ghostbusters 2 is set, as the opening title tells you, 5 years later. 5 years. Zach, come here. About how long would somebody carry a baby? Would a woman carry a baby when she's pregnant?
I don't know.
You don't know. Orion, your prom date has had 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember one day he sees a woman that's pregnant and he's like, wow, she's carrying low. I'm like, you know way too much about pregnancy. How long would a woman typically be pregnant?
9 months.
9 months, exactly. He knows 9 months, not 4 or 5 years, okay? Had Lewis been Oscar's father, he'd be 4 years old. 4 years and 3 months old in Ghostbusters 2. So, no, Lewis is not Oscar's father. Who is Oscar's father, though? Let's think about this for a second. She says in the dialogue that it is a musician, a male orchestra musician that she knows. Well, who does that pretty much point to? The guy with the nasal spray from the first movie, who is played by an actor that was in Beverly Hills Cop 3. I can't think of his name. But he, Sigourney Weaver even acknowledges this in an interview where she was interviewed on the Arsenio Hall show. So the cartoon voice of Winston was interviewing the movie Dana, or as I like to call it, the Weaver Hall interview. And so she even says, well, I've gone on and I've had a kid, apparently with the guy with the nasal spray from the first movie. So yeah, boom, right there. That was something they must have discussed on set. Well, who's the father of the kid? Well, a musician. Hello. Who did we see? The only other illustration we've seen. Guy with the nasal spray is the father of Oscar. In the novelization, that character is given a name. His name is Andre Wallance. W-A-L-L-A-N-C-E. So apparently Dana's married name was Dana Wallance, and Oscar's last name would also be Wallance. So not Meyer. All right, so that's the thing. He's not